Take your front seat. The runway lights are up and the room is buzzing. Welcome to Brand Runway, where fempreneurs, coaches and visionaries transform from hidden gem to high-end influence. I'm Jenni Parker-Brown, your front row guide to creating your own unforgettable brand presence. Each episode delivers the exact tools and brand direction to make you shine. From magnetic messaging to client attraction systems that feel as natural and delicious as a designer jacket. Whether I'm sharing backstage insights from my own journey or featuring conversations with brilliant innovators, you'll leave knowing exactly how to showcase your unique brilliance to attract your ideal customers. Because a luxury level brand presence shouldn't be exclusive. It should be accessible to every helping professional ready to step into your spotlight. Ladies, you've come to the right place. It's your time. And the champagne's on me. Welcome back to Brandway Studios. Jenni P here. It is early March and we are about to put out a new edition of Brand Runway. And we've had quite a contributor, executive writer shake-up. So one of the most key topics that entrepreneurs have to get to grips with, of course, is money. But in the brand runway world, as in the real world, what counts is not pure strategy. It's energetics, alignment, the subtle realms that come into play. So Brand Runway is built on this beautiful balance between energy and strategy for your success. And so I am absolutely thrilled to announce and invite in today and my new money expert. So first of all, welcome Hayley Su Buchanan.
Thank you, Jenni. Amazing to be here and just to be in your space of Brand Runway. I mean, what an incredible platform and energy you are creating in this world. So I'm very honored to be a part of it and to contribute to the wealth empowerment and embodiment of our readers and listeners.
Yeah, it's a very special platform. It is growing and we have standards. So the universe helped me find you. So that was perfect. So let's dig straight in to exactly what title do you call yourself, Hayley? I know there are lots of different facets to how you guide entrepreneurs. So how do you describe yourself?
Very obscurely through the title of Energetic Midwife of the Extraordinary. And, you know, I don't like to over-explain things. I just want people to feel into the energy of what I just said. The energetic midwife of the extraordinary. Basically, midwifing women through the energetic depths of who they thought they had to be and into the beautiful, embodied, abundant, extraordinary life their souls remember. So I have been in the energetic world and business world for about 30 years now, and I've walked alongside many different people, moving them through transitions, end of life journeys, identity shifts, and healing, reinvention. So where my wealth expertise comes from is an embodied, a lived experience of building wealth. And I don't see money, I see money as a part of the wealth umbrella, right? When somebody speaks about wealth, they're often just speaking about money. To me, wealth is everything in our world, everything in our world. Having wealthy relationships, a wealthy relationship with your own body. And this is something I truly lean into, is trusting your body to build your wealth. So I have studied many different things. My mom made me go and do a Reiki course at the age of 17, and that is where my journey began. And as I've moved through marriage, motherhood, building and dissolving businesses, creating success in my own terms, starting over in a brand new country. For those listeners that picked it up, I am South African, now living in the UK. But always relying on my truth, my body wisdom to guide me and to hold space for others, not to fix, not to rush, but to create a kind of space where something real can emerge. And I speak of the extraordinary because I don't believe we chase wealth or we chase money. We are already living in it. So it's a removing of the veil, if you like, and seeing the extraordinary that surrounds us, because that is what will create your greatest wealth.
I just got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps. I love the name Extraordinary, being an idealist myself. So much, it's so much in there. Love your journey. And how did you get to, when you started off with Reiki and studied many modalities? I know that you do human design. What other of these subtle realms, shall we call them, do you bring into your teaching?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things. So yes, human design. I do love human design, and not because it puts you in a box, but it liberates you to see, oh my goodness. I was just doing a session for a client now, and it was, this is your brilliance that you are born with. Because so often we get to a stage in our life where we think we are so not extraordinary, but actually we're born with so much brilliance, so much brilliance. And it's through the stories, the ancestral programming and patterning. And I work a lot with the ancestral healing, the money lines, right? The money stories from our families, from our ancestors, because they play out in our world more than you would know, Jenni, more than you would know. And it's only when you begin to recognize and acknowledge them that we can shift and change them. So a lot of ancestral healing, nervous system work. I for anybody who does human design or understands human design, I'm a manifesting generator and I love to learn. So I love to explore many different modalities. I have done the Enneagram, body talk, mindscape. Oh my goodness. There's so many things that I've forgotten. Coaching, mentoring. I was actually just having a conversation with somebody a few days ago. I used to own my own day spa, which was a wellness center. And that really prepared me for where I am now, because I was already coaching my clients as they lay on the bed having a facial or whatever it was in what they were going through. It's always been a gift of mine that people just open up and want to tell me their secrets. And my advice or my embodied wisdom that always comes through is exactly what they need to hear. And I had a client and she was going through a divorce. She was much older. And she said to me, how do you even know this stuff? She said, you are so young, you haven't even experienced marriage or anything. And yet what you're saying to me resonates so deeply and it's helped me so much. And I just said, it's just a gift that comes through me. I know exactly what to say, when to say it, to make you feel safe, to make you feel heard, and to allow you to have that subtle shift that you don't even know you've had until you walk out the door and you're in a different situation and you react differently to something. And this is all through, I mean, back then I only had a few tools in my tool belt, right? Now I have a load of things that I have studied, facilitated.
It's all relevant because I know that our listeners will want to know. They will be curious to know why, if they're not familiar with energetics and business, how that affects your business, how that affects your wealth. Obviously, you explained that absolutely beautiful, as wealth being this much broader tapestry behind us and around us and under us. Do you find people are shocked or surprised, or that there's a reaction when you talk about your approach to business and wealth?
100%. It's probably been the story of my life, having been into energy healing and energetics of business from a very young age. And this was back, I'm going to give my age away, in the 90s. And people would literally go, what on earth are you talking about? You live in a different world. And so I have always seen that there was a different way of building businesses, a different way of being with money. and that it is all just energy systems that we step in and out of and create from and with. So I go to a networking event where they are all really men, business, corporate people, and they'll hear me talk and go, this is fascinating, but I'm not quite sure how this is going to, for me, in my business. And then I'll lead them through a quick embodiment practice where I bring them into their bodies. And they have all said to me, please, can we do that every week or every month when we meet? So it's amazing that they can feel it, but they've never been shown a different way of being in business. And this is the new energy that we're in, right, Jenny? That's why we are here, because we are now in a space of let's create from alignment as opposed to push, hustle, exhaust ourselves and burn out, because that is the old energy, the old paradigm that we come from. And so there is still some of that, definitely, but we are and we have shifted into the energy of we are done with the hustle culture. We are done with that push, push, push. And it's building a business and wealth where we can actually experience life, where there's a beautiful balance between the two.
Yes, so many of the core of the wisdom of different wealth energetics about wealth is, as we know, extremely ancient and cosmic and innate and natural. And even since the early 90s, when this wave of thought leaders like Napoleon Hill and all of those guys started writing these incredible books about it, it's taken such a long time. There have been waves and moves forward, but it's been such a long time, I feel, for this conversation to be mainstream. And which is silly, because when you look around, there are, and especially in the States, there are some incredibly huge leaders who've been using energetics is a vast word for what we're talking about, but that's, we'll use that for now. But nevertheless, this has been demonstrated so much by some very, very successful and ethical and humane and really good people.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that there is still a resistance, possibly in the corporate world, that I can understand. I do think that women, correct me if I'm wrong, that women are more receptive to these ideas naturally.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think working women have had to do it all and had to prove so much, right, in a man's world, again, coming from that energy, that space. So we recognize now that we get to do it in our softer feminine way. And I think that is why, well, that's my opinion into why more women are showing up in our spaces now, because they recognize that we cannot do it a man's way. We are not men, and we should not do it in the way that men have done it, because we offer something different. We bring something different to the table. We bring something different into business. And so it's truly allowing yourself to be in alignment with that of who you truly are at your core, as opposed to borrowing from the male, from the men, right? And implementing in that way is what we have been doing up until now. But it is changing through the generations. So I have two sons, and the youngest one has just turned 16. And his peer group loves to have conversations with me around the money, the energetics, the business, and doing it differently, which I find very interesting. Very interesting that they are so into it. And one of them said the other day, what were we doing? We were purchasing something, and he just said, it's okay. There's more money to be made. It just goes around and around. And I was like, exactly that, right? Money is just energy. Even if he wasn't using the words, money is energy, money does circulate. It is constantly available to us. And I was just so amazed that these 15 and 16-year-olds get this concept so well now.
So we're in this context now of probably one of the hardest, the most toughest, challenging eras to use the online space for marketing. It's never been harder. I've watched it since 2010, to 2012, certainly for the last 8 years, as an online entrepreneur, and watched so many coaches and women entrepreneurs struggle with the bro culture, the hustle coach culture, with the left brain business building, all of that. But the ambient conditions, the market, the technology, the pressure, the fact that we've just come out of an education age. We were in an education age, then information age, then an education age. And wouldn't it be lovely if we are now in an energy age and people can just stop following the latest trends in marketing and being absolutely inundated by inboxes full of, you must do this, you must do that, this is the latest way, this is the only way, you will not survive, like, but buy from me, which is still hustle culture.
Yeah.
And take it back to, leads me swiftly onto the next question, onto embodiment. So I know this is a massive part of your work. It's also is a massive part of my work as well. So it's become a little bit of a trendy word as well,
very much
with so many spiritual entrepreneurs coming into the space as well. And it can sound a bit lofty, it can sound a bit woo. What in your work do you mean by embodiment?
Living and sharing from let me find the words. Embodiment is all of the information, all of the transformation that I have lived through, that I now actually be and do in my world. So I often describe it as if you have a human design reading, it's a lot of information that gets thrown at you. And this is what happens a lot. This information just gets thrown at you and it's like, wow, amazing. I'm awesome. Yes, that resonates with me. No, that doesn't. Oh my goodness. Yes, I can see how I sabotage myself. And then when you finish the session, you close the book or you close the laptop and you put it away and off you go and you continue to live your life. That is not embodiment, right? It's taking that information, that transformation that happened in that space, in that energy, and going, okay, where can I start to live from that? Like, for instance, let me give you an example. Embodiment for me in creating where I wanted to be in terms of my home. I would speak to the ancestors of the land. And I know this may be way out for a lot of listeners, but stick with me. I am somebody that has daily practices of speaking to the ancestors of the space where I live, my ancestors, and just making sure that everybody's on the same page, that we are all happy. Because as I said earlier, when there is disruption or our ancestors feel like we are not safe, because remember, they come from a different lifetime. And so things are very different now. They want to keep us safe. And so speaking to my ancestors daily, cleaning, clearing, creating space, saying, this is what I desire in my world, has led me into this magnificent home that I live in now. That has deep history, because that is something that I love. I love to have the history but it's because I felt it in my body. I've expressed it. I've spoken to the ancestors. This is embodiment. It's an actual case of doing things, because a lot of people think when we speak about energetics and the energy of money and business that we just sit on the couch and meditate in one position and everything's going to be amazing. That's not what it's about, right? There are some action steps that we take to create the vision, the feeling, the whatever it is that you want in your world. So it's taking information, it's taking your lived experience and learning and growing from that, as opposed to just continuing to hustle and doing it everybody else's way, because that is where you learn what your truth is, where your alignment is, where we create businesses that light us up and don't drain us. And that becomes your unique selling point, right? As you said, it's so noisy online these days. It is so noisy and it's filled with nonsense. But if you lean into the energy, and this is where a connection with your body is so important. If you do not have connection with your body, you will not be able to distinguish between what is a lie and what is truth, what you are being sold. And I feel this greatly now when I look online and all of the nonsense that comes up. I'm like, surely people can see straight through this, but you cannot, because we are so disconnected to our bodies, from our bodies, so disconnected from our bodies. So it's that daily practice of dropping into your body, feeling the energy moving through you, connecting to the earth, connecting to your body and going, okay, where do I create from today, body? Where would you like to go? What would you like to experience? This becomes embodied movement through your world by continuously checking in with your body. Because your body is the one here having the experience on this earth. Your body is the one that requires money, right? So your body will always lead you to create your greatest wealth if you are listening, and she doesn't have to scream.
Amazing. I'm so excited. Hayley, what can we expect from you in the upcoming editions of Brand Runway?
To expect the unexpected.
So will you be sharing some of these practices and rituals and ways that we can
yes,
with these signals? And because even for somebody who's knows this stuff, I can just like get up and be a whirlwind and just completely ignore it all. So
absolutely, I will be sharing. And I would love feedback from our listeners, from our readers on how it's worked for you or if it hasn't worked for you, so that I can share more. That is the whole point. It's fabulous that I will give you exercises or daily practices to do, but if you just read them and don't actually go and do them, nothing is going to change in your world.
Yeah. So I know you have communities as well that people can come into and learn more about these practices. For me now, this is indispensable to sustainably having a business, because we just can no longer do without this connection with our whole selves.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm really thrilled. So thank you for coming into the studio today and just giving us this little taster, which is really exciting. And you're on the cover.
So excited.
You're on the cover, all in vibrant colours. So yes, watch this space. I'm sure we're going to have lots more conversations, and we're going to share you, I'm going to share you, and we're going to share your wisdom, the opportunities for everybody to find their own extraordinary self and their most extraordinary life. So thank you, Hayley Su.
It's such a pleasure, pleasure. And just remember, trusting your body will create your greatest wealth frequency.
I'm gonna drop the mic on that one, because I totally agree. Okay, I will speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Lights down. That's a wrap on today's Brand Runway collection. I hope you're filled with inspiration to step into your spotlight and claim your place as the sought-after and fully booked up changemaker you're meant to be. Remember, your gifts and the value you bring to the world are pure gold. They deserve the perfect showcase. For all the tools and resources we discussed today, including the latest edition of Brand Runway magazine and how to take the next step, your VIP access awaits in the show notes below. This is your moment to shine brilliantly. And until our next showing, this is Jenni Parker Brown reminding you that every day is your runway. Bye-bye.